Hi, this is Kendra from Pencil and Pigment, and today we're going to talk about the Cappuccino book. Now, this is 120 grams. It is 80 pages front and back, and the one I own is 6 by 8.5 inches, and this retails for $16 in the United States. They also make another version that is 8.5 by 12 inches, and that's about $20. Now this is made by Hahnemu, and I'm American and I'm trying to pronounce German, so forgive me if I mispronounce that. But I thought we would look at it, talk about it, and I would do a demo with some of my pens so you can kind of see what this sketchbook is all about, and I could talk about why it sort of sat for too long in amongst my sketchbooks not being used. So I purchased this a few years ago, but what I really like about this book is its size. So it's kind of thin, it's hardbound, there is a ribbon bookmark, there is no pocket folder in the back, but they do have their little, looks like a little rooster type logo. Now, I initially started using this book with my Polychromos colored pencils, and I didn't care for it. I understand that today is Black Friday, and putting a video out about a product is probably ill-placed, but I'm not sponsored by anybody, and I don't do affiliate links. I'm not interested in any of that. I just kind of wanted to talk about this, and I want to talk about its strengths and its weaknesses. And if you are someone that likes colored substrates, which is just a super fancy way of saying working on colored paper, so all you have to do is sort of the shading and the highlights, and the colored paper covers the midtones for you, then this would definitely be something to look at. If you look through all your sketchbooks and you constantly gravitate back to white paper, this probably isn't something for you. If you like working with pastels, or you like your colors really rich and really vibrant, muted paper like this dulls it down. So I tried all kinds of products. I have on here the Derwent graphite blocks, and I probably should have sprayed that a little bit. But again, all the colors of the Polychromos are very, very dull. So I thought we would do just a really quick demo to see what this 120 gram paper can handle. Now I go by grams, and I have a video as to why we should switch over to grams versus pounds for paper, because it's a more accurate system for understanding paper weights, and I will link that video below. And I'm going to start first with the Tombow pens. And I have, let's see, I have a pale cherry red, 912, a dark olive, 158, and a brown, 879. And I chose kind of earthy tones because it is earth tone paper. Now let's do the bottom. The demo from Hahnemu hle, their YouTube video, and I can link that below too, shows somebody using Tombow pens. And Tombow pens don't bleed, they don't leak through. I have a feeling Copic and, Sharpie will. Here's the brown. That looks nice. You can't see it. Let's try it. Here is the Pine Tree Green, the G29 of a Copic Chow. And we are just going to one stroke, and it already started to bleed through. Now let's see if I can angle this better. I apologize. And you can see there is ghosting, and there's already bleeding with one mark of Copic Chow. So I won't repeat and go over that twice. I have Copic fine liners. Here is olive. I'm sure that's fine on the other side. Yeah, it's fine. There's no bleeding. There's no ghosting. I have Micron in sort of an olive green. I probably need to replace this one, but I really love my greens. And that one looks fine as well. I'm wondering how many marks it takes to bleed through. So here I have a black micron from Sakura. And we're just gonna 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so that's about 8. Right here. I went over it 8 times and there is no ghosting and no bleeding. So microns are perfectly fine. Here's a Sharpie. I'm a sadist. It's green. Let's try it. And there's ghosting and a little bleeding at the top. So it's right here. Sharpie! And you can see it's bled through. So if you only use one side of the paper and it doesn't bother you, I would say just put sort of a guard between sheets and you could Copic on this. But understand that the strength of this paper is also its weakness. So because it is this beautiful rich cappuccino color, things aren't going to look the same. They're just not going to be as bright and vibrant. And I wanted to show you in context what this looks like. So I have some Strathmore 400 series Tone Tan, and this is the difference in color. So the Strathmore is a bit more speckled, like you can see fiber, little sort of fibers in the paper, while this is just one solid color. And the Strathmore comes in sketch, and it comes in mixed media, and it comes in hardbound, and it comes in softbound. Here's the toned gray Strathmore, and here's a white sheet of paper. So you can see all the different color ranges. And I wanted to do something. So here's my polychromos in light green, which is kind of a May green, and here's what it looks like on white paper. So I drew this on all the sheets, and we're going to just look at how bright it is or isn't. Let me kind of burnish that a little bit on this page. And you can see sort of how that looks. It is brighter on white paper. Just so you have as much information as possible to sort of understand what products look like on toned paper. I don't mind it. I think it's great. I mean, your whites, here is the white polychromos. You get the white value when you work on toned paper. So what have I actually been using this for if I don't care for colored pencils on it? I've actually been doing charcoal sketches because you can do the dark value and the light value with this paper. Now, one thing I've noticed, and this could just be me, is where I live we have extreme high humidity. So if I touch this paper and I leave my finger on here, the oils in my finger actually transfer like an old book. Like, you don't want to handle really old books or first edition books with your hands. You kind of want to put on white cotton gloves. And I feel like the oils from my fingers also transfer on this paper. And I don't know if you can see that, but it sort of yellows. And then when I go over an area with, this is just a Derwent charcoal pencil, when I go over it where my finger has been, okay, here you can see it. You can see where my finger was. If you leave your fingers down on this page and then work over them with something like charcoal, there is a bit of an oil smudge. Now, I've been using the Tombow, excuse me, the Tombow Mono Zero. This is the excuse me, this is the 2.3 millimeter. I'm having an allergy. And this one has been great for charcoal. I don't really care for it for colored pencil, but you can kind of lift some of it back up. But it's just something I've noticed with this paper with oils. So be very, very careful if you live in a high humidity area, or if you moisturize after you wash your hands and then you go to work in your sketchbook, the moisture will transfer. So be very careful what's on your hands. Like if you pet your pets and there's oils on their fur, I would say probably wash your hands before you handle this book. I don't know if it does the exact same thing on, this is the Strathmore Tone Tan. And I went and looked reviews up, and it's not something I have seen anybody talk about, but when I look at reviews, most people write reviews after they've done just like a couple sketches. And I've been working in this book for a month. No, Strathmore doesn't, it's not quite the same, is it? I don't know what it is about this paper. It's like very delicate to oil. So I would just say be very, very careful as the only caveat to this. But for black and white, I feel like this does such a beautiful job to cover the mid-ranges. And I will do a full sketchbook tour probably in the first week of December of this book all filled up, so you can see how it looks. But I love it for black and white, but I feel that that's limiting. I think that's why it's taken me so long to use this book, is because I had to wait till I was in the mood for black and white illustrations or just doing black, and then I would get this out and use this. So for me, I'm not sure this is the best purchase idea, because what I want to do with it is just too specific. I hope this helps. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.